There's so many big decisions to make in our adult lives, one of those being health insurance. And many of us feel lost when it comes to making the right decisions for ourselves and our families. With us today to help us make the right decision is Action 10 troubleshooter, Andy Liscano. Thank you for joining us, Andy.
Good morning. Always a pleasure to be with you. You know, this is kind of an interesting topic for me because for a while there, I sold insurance. I sold health insurance, sold Medicare supplements, things like that. So this is something from the agent's perspective, but I'm also going to give perspective of folks who are looking for it. And as you and I both know, this is very critical depending on what happens on the election, depending on who occupies the White House, what's going to happen with the Affordable Care Act. I'm going to just give you some tips here for some things that you need to know. I don't know if people are aware, but a good rule of thumb to follow is higher premium, lower deductible, and vice versa.
Okay, good point.
Point number two, things to consider. What are your out-of-pocket expenses? Because it's more than just your premium. It's more than just your deductible. What are your co-pays? What's your co-insurance? The co-pays being what you pay at a doctor's office or in an emergency room, or when you go get your scripts. What do you have to pay before the insurance kicks in? Point number three, HMO, PPO. Well, you know, I travel a lot. I go out of town, maybe even out of the country. I'm always out and about. Okay. Well, then you might want to go for a PPO because that gives you a larger network of not only doctors, but hospitals, clinics, things you can use. Whereas if you're in an HMO, you're kind of confined to where you can go. You know, another expense, another cost to ask about when you're buying health insurance. What about if you're at home and you need ambulance transportation or you need to be halo flighted somewhere? Who's paying for that? And how much is it? And how much are you going to be responsible for? How much is the insurance going to be responsible for? You definitely want to make sure that you ask those questions because, again, if you don't know right now in your mind, you know, I always go to Dr. So-and-so, I always go to this hospital, on and on and on. Okay, well then the HMO is fine for you.
All right. Well, these are all helpful tips. And as much research as I like to think I've done on health insurance, I certainly learned a lot in just this few minutes. So I know it helped our friends at home. Andy, we appreciate helping you protect our money right here in the Coastal Bend to make the proper decisions for ourselves and our families.